So today we're going to go over how to make a bolster. So a lot of folks might know bolsters like this from yoga classes. Maybe I've talked about them in massage treatments before. The nice thing about a bolster is it's a great prop to have at home to do restorative poses on, relax on the floor, relax in bed, on the couch, whatever, just to help support opening up your body in relaxing and restorative ways. So if any of you have done shopping for a bolster before, you know that they can be quite expensive. So this is a little video to show you how to make a bolster for yourself at home with stuff you have lying around. So first we'll go with the towel option. Towel option is great if you have lots of towels. I'll go over an option afterwards if you don't have a lot of extra towels hanging around. I'm going to go with 3 towels today. If you've got more, that'll give you a bit more of a hardier bolster. So it's really the nice thing about making your own is you get to decide how big or small or soft or hard you want it. It's the perfect bolster for you. So I'm going to take these 3 towels and open them up all the way. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Get that all out. Now, depending on how tall you are, you can leave them fully open like this. This will give you a good length. So if you're wanting to lie on it, the length of your spine, that'll be really nice. If you need a slightly longer one, you might want to take more towels and layer them and bring them kind of into this kind of pattern to give you more length if you're a taller person. If you're looking for a bolster that's a little bit more condensed and a little bit thicker because you're wanting to have it widthwise across your back this way, you can take these towels and then fold them in half before you roll them. Again, this is a choose your own adventure thing, so whatever your purpose is for, go to town. Nice thing is you can deconstruct and reconstruct as needed. So I'm going to take these 3 towels and roll them up. Roll them up fairly tight, not too tight, but enough so that you get the desired hardness of them. I've got ones that are a little bit different. So I'm going to re-roll this so that the towels are centered properly, because that's what will feel best for me. And go from there. Fold that edge in if you find that your towels are different lengths and you don't want that extra little bit of tail. And perfect. So we've got the main part of our bolster. If you're wanting a little bit more cushioning around here, if this isn't quite wide enough for you, if you think you're going to fall off of that, you can take some pillows and wrap some pillows around there. I'm going to take this extra fluffy blanket because I don't have a ton of extra pillows kicking around, and the pillows I have just aren't quite right for what I'm looking for here. So there's different ways you can fold. As you can see, this is a little too long, but folding it widthwise, well, maybe that is right. But you can fold it in thirds and halves, just play around. It's not quite right, but it'll do. It's nice to have this table to do this on, but the floor also works pretty great. Right. So as you can see, we've got a nice a little bit of a wider bolster going now, but it's not super stable. What you can do from here is, if you want it to feel really bound and really tight, you can take an extension cord, shoelaces, rope if you've got it, and just tie knots, tie it up so it feels that bound way. I'm going to use a blanket and tightly fold the blanket around it to give it that sense of compactness. Now this is where you can get a little bit fancy if you've got different things lying around, because this bolster is going to be used as a relaxation and restoration type of prop. You can find, if you've got different textures of blanket or sheet to wrap around this bolster you've created. So I'm going with something really nice and soft and comforting for me. If you don't have that, it's not a big deal. It's what you've got lying around. This is just suggestion. So I'll lay this out like so. I'm going to start from this end. Place my nicely rolled up bolster a little bit in from the edge, so fold that edge over, and we're just going to start by pinning up the other edges. So this blanket is not quite wide enough for this length, but that's okay. Folding in those edges. This is really not a good blanket, so I'm going to start again. So I can't use my extra soft one, but I can drape this on top after if I'm looking for that nice soft extra bit. So I'm going to use this quilt because I know it's a little bit wider, hopefully. Okay, so again we have it on the edge. Take that first top one, fold it down. Pin in the edges. This is where your folding skills get to come into play. So you want to make that fairly tight here before we make our next fold. Pull those under edges out again. Fold that in. Fold that in. And roll nice and tight again. So not my best creation, but it will do. As you can see, we've got a pretty hefty bolster here. It's good width, nice density, and this is the towel bolster. So I used 3 towels and a blanket to give it a little bit extra softness and width, and then the top blanket to bind it in. If you don't have 3 or more towels, that's okay. I'm gonna go over one with 1 or 2 pairs of jeans and an old winter coat. So I'm going to take this off to the side for now. I'll leave this out. This is going to be our bind again. So I've got a pair of jeans. So those pair of jeans, they're about as wide as that towel. And I'm going to roll it inside my coat. Probably better to use 2 or 3 pairs of jeans, but I don't really feel like pulling all those out. So open up your coat and then get it ready. So I'm just getting into your Marie Kondo folding skills if you ever got into that show. Folding the sleeves in, folding the hood in. If the hood gives you weird lumps that you're not into, you can take it off. If you can't take it off, oh well. Place your jeans in the middle. If you want to add that extra little bit in here, that's great. And then we get into our rolling. So as you can see, not quite as big as the towels, but pretty close. I'm going to go with the skinnier bolster for this one. Fold that top piece in to lock it, and then bringing in the edges. Roll, pull out, and again. And roll. And roll. So again, we've got our bolster. It's not quite as wide, but as you can see with this top one, it's actually kind of nice too. That's bolster number 2 versus the store-bought bolster number 1. So in terms of height, they're about the same. In terms of weight, they're about the same. In terms of height, not quite, but you know, close enough. Make do with what you've got, right? So hopefully that helps with any restorative practices that you have going on right now, or maybe some yoga classes you're doing online. Yeah, enjoy.